Could the current state of the Bill of Rights be explained by deferring to legal experts that maybe gave her bad advice or steered it in a certain direction where maybe she doesn't fully understand what that means, or maybe she isn't pushing hard enough for that? But
the Bill of Rights is interesting to me because I don't remember us asking about it. It wasn't a campaign promise. It wasn't a big deal. Like, I don't think it was a big deal, but it became a big deal at some point. And it became a big deal because of this group in Medicine Hat, the Black Hats, right? And I don't know why. And I've talked to them. Like, I've talked to Mitch Sylvester and some of those guys. And I think, let me try and answer this. I don't think it was a priority of hers, and it became a priority, and it became something that she got nervous about, and she needed to do something. I don't think it's a priority of hers. I really don't. And so she passed it off to somebody who drafted something extremely quickly. I mean, I had the Bill of Rights here on my desk, like the one that to be honest, the one that the Black Hats gave her with the 21 points. It's a bit of a joke, right? I mean, like, we have the right to fair taxation. We have the right to, like, it just goes on and lists all this weird stuff. What does that mean?
So,
yeah, exactly. I think she locked onto the Bill of Rights as a quick win for this AGM. You could see it when the Black Hats showed up. They got a victory. Now, I think those Black Hats got played because the bill as it stands is not what they wanted. Those clauses in there, especially that opening clause, that limitation clause, they're going to regret it if the bill goes through. That's not what they wanted. And were you there? Did you witness the noon debate? No, you guys were doing the.
We were doing the youth debate at the time.
I was able to watch a recording of it. We were filming the youth debate. We weren't there in person, but even watching the recording, you could see people were kind of treating that almost as a discussion on the nitty-gritty elements of the bill rather than a voting it forward as a, yes, this is something that we're pursuing as a matter of policy.
Yeah, well, it was a motion, right? It was motion 35, I think, or 36, like almost an entire page of motion written in like size 6 font. I mean, it was crazy how and people mixed up the motion with the fact that on the bill. I mean, the motion, for the viewers, again, on the floor of the AGM, the organization, the members present motions, ideas for policy, for the direction, right? I mean, throughout the year, every constituency association, even individuals like myself, we could have presented ideas. So 600 to 800 ideas were presented. Then a committee of volunteers who are members of the UCP pared down that list of 600, found the ones that are in common and adjusted them, and then presented 237 or something like that. And then for the last 2 months leading to the AGM, we ranked those 235 made it onto the floor of the AGM. So motions get debated, and when accepted, they're given to the government to try and potentially turn them into legislation. So yes, in simple terms, the motion said we'd like the Bill of Rights to be either strengthened or revised. That's it. That's what should have been debated on the floor. Do you want the government to do that? Do you want the government to take a crack at revising the Bill of Rights? Well, weirdly, the government heard that throughout the summer and rushed to revise the Bill of Rights and issued it as Bill 24, like Monday last week. So, of course, the floor was confused because we're debating a motion asking the government to revise the Bill of Rights, and the Bill of Rights already been revised. So there was two groups. The groups are literally arguing with each other. I mean, if you close your eyes, there's a row of guys that are for the motion and a row against the motion. And when I closed my eyes listening to people debate, I couldn't tell on what side they were. And it was obvious that people were confusing the motion and the bill as it exists. It passed. So what passed on the floor is basically the notion that, what passed on the floor is that the government should revise the Bill of Rights. So the Black Hats, they're all happy. They got what they wanted, but I don't think they're going to be happy if the bill stays as is.
And you run into the issue too of, if like you were saying, Marty, if you don't have some sort of limiting principle, some sort of, this is inalienable. Like you're mentioning your admiration for the U.S. Constitution, which I share, the wording of inalienable, and we hold these truths to be self-evident, like that strong language, like that is what you build the country off of. And if you have these sort of weasel words of, subject to reasonable limits, and well, then you run the risk of exactly what we saw happening 2, 3, 4 years ago, of activist judges not acting in the best interest of a reasonable, objective interpretation of law, but just allowing themselves to be swept up in a moment and allowing, passing maybe fears or emotions to influence something that's very consequential and shouldn't be subject to those things.